Royals baseball back at Kauffman Stadium, where as the Royals begin their last homestand of 2017, they beat the Detroit Tigers last night 2-1. Hi everyone, welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joe Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery are coming up. Well, this nucleus, this core of players that stayed together one more year for another run at a championship. They stayed together through the trading deadline. We found out last night, shortly after the Royals won, that they will not go to the postseason this year.
And you know what? Fan base, you and I, we're disappointed. They're crushed. Those players, that's what they live for. They knew they were going to get back to postseason this year. So when the reality sets in, you go, well, what's next? Oh, I got to play a big league game today. Nothing changes. I got to go out and attack. I got to execute my pitches. I got to try to hit a line drive somewhere. Oh, and the paying customer, I'm going to entertain that fan. So there's where we are today.
And the Royals still have a chance to finish above 500 if they win out, at 500 if they win 4 or 5. But let's talk about some individual accomplishments. When we come back, we'll begin with shortstop Alcides Escobar. Kansas City is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. All right, let's talk Alcides Escobar, who's not from the Royals organization. He came from a trade from the Milwaukee Brewers, but we knew eventually that he might win a Gold Glove, which he did. We knew that he'd eventually hit better than when he first got to the big leagues, which he has. But we didn't know he was an Iron Man.
Yeah, that's for sure. We also didn't know that he was going to perform in the championship game in 2015 and become the MVP. Escobar is so much fun to watch. When you look up the definition of athlete in the dictionary, Escobar's name might be right there. His footwork, his hand-eye coordination, it's amazing to see the plays that he makes. He's very special to this team, and as far as everybody else is concerned, he's royal.
And after a slow start at the plate, he's had a good year.
look at this. Finishing strong, that's exactly what every major league player wants on his resume. Now, is it easy to do that? No. But for Escobar, he sees nothing but green light ahead. Go ahead, green pastures to follow.
Joe and Monty are coming up. They'll talk about Jason Hamill, who's making his final start in his first season with the Royals tonight.
On the 2017 Royals campaign. Eliminated last night, but still some work to do. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery, and HUD talked about it best. You come back the next day and you do it. And for Jason Hamill, this is his last start, and it'll be a career-high 32nd start of the season. A lot of ups and downs. What do you make of it?
Well, it has been a lot of ups and downs. Last start of the season, you love to carry into the offseason a positive start. His last three have not been good, but he went through a stretch of about 20 consecutive starts there in the middle of the season after a slow start where he was 15 out of 20 games. He was 3 runs or less, so he was really pretty much a guy you could count on is going to go out there, give you a chance to win a ball game, and that's really what it's all about. That's what Ned Yost is looking for on a nightly basis. Give my team a chance, and that's Jason Hamill's charge tonight.
And in a year with so many injuries, the two Jasons really able to stay healthy, Hamill and Vargas. Jordan Zimmermann has struggled, but he pitches well here at the K. More coming up.
brought to you by the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickup on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By the Missouri Lottery, every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Ford, going further so you can. No playoffs this year for the Royals, but they have a chance to finish at or above 500. If they win their last 5, they'll finish with a winning season. 4 of their last 5 gives them a 500 season. The lineups in the first pitch are coming up next. .65 degrees and the lights are in full effect, and we haven't even started yet. The Tigers have lost 8 in a row, and it's the second time this year they've lost 8 in a row. Same thing happened from mid to late June, and they begin tonight with 95 losses, and with all the big names either traded away or hurt, most of the big names at least. Tigers scored just 1 run, 6 hits last night against Vargas, Herrera, Soria, and Minor. Tonight they'll get Jason Hamill, and Hamill's making his 5th start against the Tigers this year.
Yeah, and he's hoping that he performs like he did his last time in Detroit. It was against the Tigers, where he pitched 6 strong innings, only gave up a couple of runs, all with his fastball, slider, curve, changeup. Slider being his out pitch, hoping to keep that down. When he gets 2 strikes on the batter, he'll whiff them if it's placed properly. Our forward around the horn Royals defense. Today's pregame show with Joel and Monty and the Price Chopper live, Royals Live. They highlighted Escobar. Why not stay with him? Esky's been fantastic defensively this year. Also, he's finishing strong with the bat, but he's got skills. We're going to give him some love.
Ball 1 on Ian Kinsler. He drove in the Tigers' run with 2 outs in the 3rd inning, which put the Tigers ahead 1-0. So it was a comeback win for the Royals last night. Kinsler ended up with 2 hits, and that pitch is too low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, mentioned in the pregame show, Ryan, it was special because they did all of Esky's highlights in his career here with the Royals, and they're going to take each night the rest of the way on out the season and pick one of the main characters of the championship run, and they're going to highlight each one of these guys. And it was emotional watching Esky and all the things that he's accomplished here in this short time.
4 pitches, all out of the strike zone, and Kinsler opens the game with a walk. And now he and Escobar decide that Escobar will be the cover man if Hamill gets a ground ball back to him. Try and start a double play, and why not? The Royals had 5 of those last night.
Now Hamill, he's induced just 5 this year in 174 and a third innings. He's a fly ball pitcher, but you never know. If he can roll up 1 or 2, it saves that pitch count. And that communication is so important as the pitcher looks back and see who's covering, the shortstop or the second baseman. And you said that he made eye contact with Eske, said, okay, me and you are working. That's important. That way when the ball comes back to him, he knows who's covering, he throws it right to him.
Kinsler has stolen 14. He is on a very short list of players, active players, who have hit 200 home runs, and they have stolen 200 bases. And maybe you immediately don't think of Ian Kinsler as being in that group, but only Carlos Beltran, Hanley Ramirez, and Brandon Phillips are up there with Kinsler. At least 200 home runs and 200 stolen bases.
In his 12th year, and doesn't seem to be slowing down much, although he's had better seasons than this one.
That's blooped to left field and down for a hit. So a 4-pitch walk and now a single, and the Tigers have 2 on and nobody out.
Elevated 87. Looked like a slider, maybe. Well, it had a little bit of spin on it, but only at 87. Could have been a fastball. He threw a BP. A BP fastball is a fastball you take some speed off of it.
Castellanos was 1 for 3 with a single last night. And he hits that one to the gap. And Paulo Orlando sliding into deep right center field. He simply outran that baseball.
No way he gets to that ball. On contact, that looked like that's going to split the gap. Paulo took his first step. He was at full speed in his second. Nicely done. Look at that. Oh man, is that pretty. Now he's able to get to his feet and keep Presley from tagging at first base and getting into second base. Kinsler went to third. Castellanos, he wanted it. He wanted a hit.
He ran 50 yards. At least it looked like that.
Seemed like that ball has some tailing action, some slicing action away from Paulo. That's why I didn't think he'd get to it.
Jeimer Candelario with runners at first and third and 1 out. He was 1 for 3 last night. He also grounded into one of the 5 double plays. 2-0.
Let's take a look at this catch again, folks. We knew we were going to see one, but not here in the third batter. I mean, he almost was moving on contact. It's the only way he's able to make that play. Great jump on the ball on contact. You hesitate 1 split second, you miss that. It's extra bases, and they're on the board.
Two and one on Candelario. Now, interesting, Jason Hamill, his overall opponent's batting average is .285, but you put a runner in scoring position and it goes down to .218, and that's one of the best marks in the league, in both leagues. That is sliced foul. Back into the first row. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kinsler walked on 4 straight pitches to begin the game. Presley singled. Tigers had runners at first and second and nobody out, and without that great play by Paulo Orlando, there's a run home right now and runners at second and third and nobody out.
That's right. See if Hamill can execute his slider, his strikeout pitch, and get the punch out. That's what he really wants here.
Presley has good speed. He has 5 stolen bases this year. He has not been thrown out yet.
He has the ability to, if he gets an everyday job, he can steal 15 to 20, I'm sure. You know, jury's out still on who's going to be the Tigers' everyday players next year. But the audition has been good for him. He's impressed.
Still 2-2.
High fastball to set up the slider down in the dirt here.
Talking about next year, first things first, who is going to be their manager? Brad Ausmus and the Tigers announced this past Friday that he will not be back for a 5th season. Slider stayed up and Escobar was there, but it's off of his glove and a run will score. Ball had a lot of side spin to it and he just didn't time his jump the way he wanted, and the Tigers lead 1-0.
Yeah, I guarantee you tomorrow he'll tell me he should have had that ball, but it was a tester. It was directly over his head, so it's tough to time the leap, but it's still excellent effort. I mean, I'm going to say there's no way he had a chance to catch that ball. Check out Jeimer Candelario. He's pumped.
So the leadoff walk turns into a run. And now first and second, 1 out to James McCann. He was 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts last night. One of those was a double play. With all those double plays, last night the Tigers only had 1 inning. 1 inning the whole night where they had more than 1 base runner. In 8 of 9 innings last night, they only sent 3 batters to the plate. And now here in the first inning tonight, they've had 3 base runners. 0-2.
I'm just a little bit confused about Hamill not throwing that slider in that situation there. Huh? Left the pitch up enough for him to jam it out there to left field.
One and 2 on McCann. There's the slider, and there's the strikeout.
Now that's the pitch that I thought he was going to throw to Candelario before he got the base hit. But now here it is. Now this is the one I was expecting. Now that's the strikeout pitch. That's the swing and miss pitch, and he was able to get the strikeout.
And that brings up Efren Navarro, filling in at first base with Miguel Cabrera out with a couple, not one, a couple of herniated discs in his back. That slider's taken for a strike.
Never had an issue like that before, have you? A herniated disc? So I can't tell you. I would imagine that's extremely painful. But
more than one, too.
Yeah, but then to try to come out and play a game at this level, oh man. Wonder when that happened.
Another slider, another strike. Hamel has thrown 20 pitches. And now fastball out to Witt. So the Tigers get a run, but that play by Paulo Orlando was huge. Could have been a lot worse. So the Tigers have a 1-0 lead. The Royals are coming up against right-hander Jordan Zimmermann. Lineup. Edios try and rest guys during this Tigers series so that all the regulars play for the final series. Eric Hosmer is the DH again. Lorenzo Cain is off, and Paulo Orlando is in center field and has already made an impact. Kia puts us in the driver's seat. The Royals have won 8 of their last 9 against the Tigers. They have outscored them by 33 runs. And while they scored just 2 runs last night, they've been averaging over 7.5 runs per game in their last 9 against Detroit. Inside to Whit Merrifield, and tonight they face a pitcher who has a 6.19 ERA. Jordan Zimmermann.
Has not been the season that he wanted, that's for sure. 317 opponent average, a little bit higher for him. Fastball 90 to 95 typically, but he's going to average around 91, 92 miles an hour. 4-seam fastball. He's got a little sinking action to it. Slider curve change. Get him early. Still likes to use his heater. Just a small little slider there. The opponent's hitting 342 with 17 home runs off that fastball, so look for it.
Romine is in center field, and he backpedals and makes a play. 1 down.
That's right. Andrew Romine, he could play anywhere on the diamond. Now this year he has not been a pitcher or a catcher, but I heard that's going to change. Be a nice little gesture by Brad Ausmus, the skipper, on his last day as a manager. I heard going to let him play all 9. That means 1 position each inning. Could be exciting.
The Milkmen are here, and usually good things happen for Melky when they're at the game. 1-1 on Melky.
It's pretty cool, you know. If I was Melky, I would want a picture with those guys. That's fun. Get down.
Presley is over from left to make the play. now Eric Hosmer, who's the designated hitter. Last night Hosmer got his 189th hit of the year. That's a new career high. He also drove in his 92nd, batting at .320, third in the league. Outside ball one. Last year was a career season for Eric Hosmer in many categories, and now our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. He has improved his batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, hits, walks, all new career highs in 2017.
I bet he's proud of the walks too, and if you, and I haven't asked him this, but I believe that he thinks he probably could do better in the future with that.
Zimmerman knocks it down and throws to first, and he needed just 10 pitches to get to the Royals in the bottom of the first. Continues to be the playoff picture, and if the season ended today, this is how the playoffs would line up. Minnesota with a win at Cleveland, or if the Angels lose at Chicago and Minnesota gets that second wild card spot, they trail at Cleveland 2-0 in the top of the fifth inning. The Cubs, with a win tonight or a Milwaukee loss, would win the Central. There's a strike to Dixon Machado. I think a lot of people will be altering their plans over the next 4 days to come out here and say goodbye to the 2017 Royals. 0-2 on Machado.
I agree with that. And that young man right there looked young enough to where I think his coach would excuse him and understand.
Off of Drew Butera's glove, and it's still 0-2. Dixon Machado as the DH just underlines how much firepower Tigers have lost on offense. It's a called third strike, and Hamill strikes out his second. Speaking of the playoff picture, the Washington Nationals have clinched the East. They have a 21-game lead, but they clinched it without Bryce Harper, who had that knee injury when he slipped on the wet base at first. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. He returned last night and played 5 innings. And he used the last week to shake off some rust and tune up for the postseason. But I remember watching the replay of that injury, and I am not a betting man, but if I was, I would have bet a lot of money and a lot of your money He was done for the year. I'm sure they feel fortunate in Washington that he's able to play at all.
No doubt about it. And they need him in the worst way. They need his bat to be productive. Now, the timing could be an issue, but we'll see. He gets back in there. You know, he's so natural. I imagine in the postseason he'll run into one or two of them. That's right, young man. That's a baseball. Big league pearl. Well, it's a rubbed up ex-pearl.
Escobar got a glove on it. Throws on one hop and still almost got Romine.
Wow. That was nice. I didn't think he'd get to that one. He stopped it and then was able to grab it with his bare hand. And it looked close. He couldn't quite get it. Look at him turn and fire. Kept it low. Gets there quicker. I think he's out. No? Yeah. Watch this. See, by keeping the throw low, it gets there quicker.
And the Royals will challenge.
Eske with a Gold Glove play. That's right, Romine, he's crossing his fingers right now. Eske saying, yeah, I got him. It's nice when you can use that turf. You know, you just keep that ball down low. Moss made sure of the catch, and it hit the glove before his foot went down. Nicely done.
Greg Gibson, the crew chief, the one facing your screen, is the umpire who made the call, and he's watching Crown Vision right now. Some umpires completely turn their back to Crown Vision. They don't want to see it. They just listen in, because what they see up on the board really doesn't affect anything, because they have no say. It's someone back in New York who's making the final decision. But Greg Gibson turned around and see if he made the correct call or not. Right there. And the crew chief makes the call. He's out. So 6-3. It was unorthodox, but it was another impressive play by Alcides Escobar, and there are two down.
Yeah, just talks about his footwork, his hand-eye coordination. You know, that ball was just off the end of his glove, but he's able to pick and throw and use that really gifted arm of his. Very nicely done. Now, I think before the game, we talked about the possibility of Escobar making a Gold Glove play, and he's had a chance for two now. He missed the first one over his head, but he got that one right. First one would have saved a run.
That makes the connoisseur of replays 24-9 this year.
You mean super duper?
Super duper. Had two super duper defensive plays in the first two innings. All Orlando in the first, Alcides Escobar in the second, and Escobar will bat in the bottom of the second.
Here at Kauffman Stadium, as we have heard over and over again since 2011. Mike Moustakas ready to step in. Joel Goldberg back at the K. And a lot of reflection this week from the players. Not so much Ned Yost yet. He is still focused on just baseball. And of course, these guys are too. And it would show based on the type of games that they have played. Ryan and Hud talking to Eric Hosmer today. He talked about the adversity of this season, but yet he said that he has witnessed players, perhaps Mike Moustakas, in the training room 5 to 6 hours a day, doing whatever they could to get out there, no matter what, because he said that we know that we are better when those guys are out there competing. He said those are the type of guys that Dayton Moore put together in this group. Guys that want to go out there no matter what. And you look at it since 2011, Eric Hosmer, most games in the majors since 2011. Alcides Escobar for a first baseman. Alcides Escobar, most games in the majors for a shortstop since 2011. These guys love to play, hurt or not, every single night. And one other note, unrelated, a happy 40th birthday to Bill Duplessis with that winning challenge there.
How about that? Happy birthday, Duper.
That's super duper. Way to go, Goldie.
2-2 on Moustakas. Add another note to Joel's report. The Royals have 6 different players who have played 140 more games, and that's the most in the major leagues. The Royals are the only team with 6 players who have played 140 or more games. Three balls, 2 strikes. Mike Moustakas is one of those players, and along the way he's hit 38 home runs. Our Toyota League leaders. 4th in the American League. And now he's on with a leadoff walk. And that's the Royals' first runner. And now Brandon Moss getting a chance to play at first base in back-to-back games, with Eric Hosmer serving as the designated hitter. And Moss was 1 for 3 last night. He had a leadoff single in the 5th inning, and maybe the key play of the game is something you don't normally talk about, is Moss going 1st to 3rd on a base hit and setting up the sacrifice fly.
This excellent instinctive base running there by the designated hitter. Or excuse me, first baseman. This is the second night in a row he's playing on both sides of the ball, but he can run. And I said that to him earlier in spring training when I saw him. I said, you know, I've watched you run the bases here in spring training. You actually move pretty well. And he didn't agree with me. I was like, wow, why would you discount your speed? If you run well, you're a good athlete. He said, finally, he said, thank you. But he showed it there last night, cut the corner nicely.
One ball and 2 strikes. Another foul ball. He has driven in 50, with 34 of those coming in the second half. Only Eric Hosmer and Whit Merrifield have driven in more in the second half. Lays off the slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Navarro, good fielding first baseman, handles a difficult hop and begins a 3-6-3 double play.
When When you have soft hands, they work well for you when you have a big glove, especially. That first baseman's glove is like a basket. Only trouble sometimes is finding the ball out of that big basket to get it there. You got to get rid of it. But Navarro's got a lot of experience.
It's early, but Jordan Zimmermann certainly didn't look like a guy with an ERA over 6 when he pitched here on July 17th. He gave up 1 run in 6 2/3 innings. He shut out the Royals through 6 before Whit Merrifield hit a 2-out RBI double. No walks, 7 strikeouts in that game. And it was not the first time he has pitched well here. It's not a big sample size, but if you use pitchers who have made 4 or more starts at Kauffman Stadium, Jordan Zimmermann is one of the best. Royals also saw him when he was a member of the Washington Nationals. Chad Auger, who spent most of his career with the Indians, is the only pitcher who has a lower ERA here than Jordan Zimmermann.
Interesting. Monteveros is on there.
Tom Seaver is on that list.
Monteveros was a crafty righty, pitched for Oakland.
You probably faced him.
I did. We did.
Two and 2 on Escobar. Shallow right center, and Romine makes the play. So leadoff walk, but Zimmermann got a double play and only faces 3 in the second.
He just got here, and his first start in his 30 out of his 32 was the team defense. The way that these guys catch the ball for you. You'll love that. Now tonight, Escobar, well, you're going to let that slide if you can't get him out? No, he turned around and made a huge out. Paulo's play was special, and that goes hand in hand with starting pitching. When you got that kind of defense, you're going to win games.
Kinsler is jammed, and Escobar goes out to make the play.
Folks, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time. And later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Hamill walked Kinsler to begin the game, and Kinsler scored on a base hit by Candelario. And now he gets Kinsler with just 1 pitch in the 3rd. That'll bring up Alex Presley. Presley went the other way and singled to left in the 1st inning.
You know, I just watched Alex Gordon in left field come in 3 or 4 steps, and left. Presley not known to hit the ball with power that way. Alex trying to think he can pick off something he's going to try to drop in front of him.
Which is what he did in the first inning. Didn't hit it very hard, but was able to drop it out into shallow left. Up the middle, and Witt got a glove on it. Presley is on with one out. He's 2 for 2.
Hit it hard. It was a tester. Whitley going full speed, did all he could. Yep. Just couldn't glove it. Good try. Now, you know, before the game, during the Royals batting practice today, I was talking with a few fans that are Alex Gordon fans, and they were looking for Alex in the batting cage. They didn't understand that there's several groups of hitters that go in there, and so they said, well, we don't see Alex. Where is he? I said, look out there. The guy that has a hood on, has his hoodie on, you wouldn't recognize him. He's the one out there shagging all the balls off the bat. And I said, you know, plays Gold Glove defense. That's why he's out there working. He's not punching the clock or phoning anything in. He's out there working. He shags balls off the bat, and that's how you get good reaction in game time, by taking him off the bat during batting practice. He takes pride in it.
Came up with a new term to describe how he practices during batting practice: power shagging.
Exactly.
Instead of, like a lot of outfielders will go maybe half speed or 3/4 speed, Alex will go out during batting practice and will chase balls down like it's the game.
Yeah, game on. That's why he's so good in game. He practices game speed. And you know, a coach can hit you a ball off with his fungo bat, and you know that you can work on your footwork and getting in back of the ball and the technique there. But when it comes off a live bat, now you're getting a full read on how to go in, come in on balls, go left. The true spin on the baseball is a lot better off of a batting practice.
(3-0) on Castellanos. Castellanos was out on the biggest play of the game so far. The Tigers had 2 on and nobody out in the first inning, and Castellanos hit one to right center, and there was nobody near that ball. That had RBI double, maybe even with Presley at first, a 2 RBI double. But Paul Orlando came out of nowhere. He made a sliding play. The Royals got an out, and the Tigers ended up scoring just 1 run in that inning. Otherwise, that could have been a big inning for Detroit. Three and 1.
Did you see Castellanos' reaction too? He was heartbroken. Thought for sure he had extra bases.
He has 96 RBIs. Running out of time to get 100 this year. He has a career high 25 home runs. Castellanos, I guess, was asking for time and didn't get it from DJ Rayburn. A hitter doesn't call time. A hitter asks for time, and that was too late. That's not the umpire's fault at all.
Way too late. He's lucky it wasn't 2 strikes on him, or he'd be going back to the dugout.
He looked into his dugout for support, and I don't know if that support was there.
Nope. Too late. And you can call, but don't take your hand off the bat.
Presley is running, and that's lined into left field. Presley was not looking. So he went sliding into second base, or at least did not round second base, and now 2 on with 1 out. Speaking of Alex, tomorrow is the last Gordo Nation of the season. For only $35, you get a seat in left field, this limited edition Charlie Hustle brand t-shirt, and an Alex Gordon big head. For tickets, go to Royals.com/theme tickets. Danny Duffy will pitch tomorrow. Daniel Norris, also a lefty, will pitch for the Tigers.
$35 for the sweatshirt, little t-shirt, and the ticket to get in. Oh man, Alex, appreciate that. You guys come on out and support him. Last time of the year. He appreciates that.
Candelario singled off of Escobar's glove in the first inning, driving in the Tigers' run. And he hits it into left center field. Alex plays it on a bounce. Presley's coming to the plate. Alex's throw was high and offline. Ball just kind of sailed on him. And the Tigers take a 2-0 lead. Candelario has driven in both runs.
Not trying to pull it, just hitting it where it's placed or where it's pitched, and does a nice job. That ball's a little bit too far out of Alex's range to go towards center field for him to make the throw out at the plate.
That is an easier play for a left-hand throwing left fielder who doesn't have to go into a full pivot with his hips. That is fair, just inside the left field line. Castellanos scores. Candelario stops at third, and James McCann gives the Tigers a 3-0 lead.
And it's back-to-back hits on pitches that were down below. I believe that Castellanos, his base hit was on a pitch similar, except maybe even lower, both being golfed off the ground.
Efren Navarro grounded out to Merrifield in the first inning. The Royals bring the infield in halfway. Oh and 1. Hamill got the first out of the inning on 1 pitch. Kinsler popped out to short, and now the Tigers have 4 straight hits and 2 runs. 0 and 2. No appeal. 1 and 2. And that's out of play. We were talking about Navarro last night, a 50th round pick of the Angels. And you wonder if they only did that because he was from that area. Navarro was born in Las Vegas, but he grew up in Orange County, just outside of Anaheim, and the Angels took him 10 years ago in the 50th round.
Man, he's paid his dues.
Same round Gerard Dyson was drafted. Dyson went a year earlier in the 50th round. Always been a good defensive player, but when you play a position like first base, you have to be more than just a good defensive player.
Yes, up here you do for sure. You got to hit for power. All corners, third, first, right field, left field. Middle of the diamond's reserved for athletes, although nowadays they got power as well. I mean, not that the corners and the left and right fielder aren't athletes, but the middle people, catcher, second base, shortstop, center field, that's where most of the action is in baseball. You want your guys with good speed, good lateral movement, coming in, going back, those type of skills.
And Navarro was down in the count 0-2, and now it's 3-2. Dixon Machado is on deck, a right-hand batter. Struck him out. Navarro had laid off a couple of pitches like that just to get the count to 3-2, and then got anxious, figured he was going to see a strike, and it was not.
It's a good thing. That'll load him up.
And now Machado. When the season began for the Tigers, they had J.D. Martinez in right field, Justin Upton in left field, Miguel Cabrera at first, Victor Martinez was their DH, Alex Avila was doing some of the catching, and all those guys are either gone or hurt. So Dixon Machado, with a slugging percentage under .350, is their designated hitter. Two and one.
I guarantee you he's thrilled to be in that lineup. Doesn't matter DH or not, although DH is not a preference of a young player.
Good spot. 2-2.
Let's check it out again on Fox Tracks. Generous call there by DJ Rayburn. He'll take it. Hamill will.
Stayed up. Moustakas backhands and over to Moss. The Tigers get two. Candelario drives in his second. McCann has an RBI, and Detroit leads 3-0. Kansas City firefighter James Matt Tudor, the executive director of Have a Heart, a children's charity operated and funded by the members and family of IAFF Local 42 and the Kansas City Fire Department. Every Christmas, Have a Heart organization adopts approximately 300 children through the Division of Family Services. They hook up with Santa Claus and ensure that these children have a Christmas they deserve. It was started in 1989 by retired Captain Joe Burnell and his wife Cheryl. Have a Heart has adopted over 10,000 and given them a special Christmas that they will never forget. And Matt is sitting in the Buck O'Neil Legacy seat at tonight's game.
That's outstanding, James Matt Tudor. Way to go. Way to make a lot of young people happy. Special.
Starting to cool down, so Santa having a full dress rehearsal tonight. How many times have you dressed up like Santa Claus and gone to a big league game?
I would say 0. I mean, haven't been to too many big league games, but still, that you got to admire that.
Yeah. And appropriately, Super Jesus is following the Santas of the concession stands.
Well,
I mean, it's his holiday after all, so he's making sure that those guys are behaving the way that they should at the ballpark.
He's checking up on them. That guy's at every game, isn't he? Sure can move. Quick feet.
1-2 on Alex Gordon. He was on base 2 more times last night with a single and a walk. Two balls and 2 strikes. Alex now coming up on a solid 3 weeks where he's hit well over 300. Now the key is that last category, slugging percentage. He's just not getting a bunch of singles. He's also hitting for power.
He is, and also he's seeing a lot of pitches, having some long at bats. That's good. The more pitches you see, the more comfortable you get.
Got 2 guys in the game tonight, Jason Hamill and Alex Gordon, who were asked in the middle of the season to make a pretty drastic mechanical change. I think most people would agree it is easier for a pitcher to tweak his mechanics, especially a starting pitcher who has a lot of time in between starts, than it is a hitter who's in there every single day.
Yeah, it's a lot more mental on the hitter. And sometimes when you're going bad, you get inside your own head. Not there. He won it. Fantastic at bat. See how short and quick that swing was? That's ideal. Dale Swaim has spent a lot of time with Alex this summer. Look, and finally he picks up a pitch at 87. You foul off that many pitches, eventually you're going to get one that you can hit. It's good balance, good back leg there. He's upright. He's able to leverage the back leg, keeps you just on the ball longer, keeps your hands through it. Dale's been excellent this year with him, doing the best he can. You know, Dale can hit for him. He was a switch hitter himself, and a good one. Solid big leaguer.
Paulo Orlando has already made a big play on defense tonight, playing in center field as Lorenzo Cain has gotten the night off. It was Dale Swaim who was looking at video of Alex Gordon back in 2012, 2013, when he was turning himself into an all-star caliber player, and noticed that Alex was more upright then than he was now. He was into a deep crouch. Paulo slams it to center field, and Romine is at the wall. Wrong ballpark, wrong time of year. A cool night, big ballpark. There's a breeze blowing in, but there's a lot of ballparks that cannot hold that fly ball.
No doubt. And it was hit well, too. Are you kidding? You hit a ball that far, you expect to get something out of it. I mean, more than something. That's 410 feet. Most center fields are just 400.
And now Drew Butera. Salvador Perez also has the night off. That'll be out of play. Tomorrow night here at Kauffman Stadium, got the Royals and the Tigers again, and over at Sprint Center, the St. Louis Blues are in town. They'll be taking on the Minnesota Wild. For tickets, visit stlouisblues.com. So you can see the Blues in person at Sprint Center tomorrow and all season here on Fox Sports Kansas City.
Give him thumbs up, look. Give him thumbs up. Thumbs up. Give him number 1.
There we go. He doesn't have any time for the camera. He's locked in on the game.
Is that awesome? Show me your side.
You know, power hitter, just like a power pitcher, it's a lot of that force from their legs. And you know, the interesting thing about Alex, he had gotten into that deep knee bend, wide stance because he wanted to use his legs. And by showing him video, Dale Swaim had to show him that, you know, your intent is good, but really you're not getting a lot of leverage from your legs into that crouch. And that's when Dale convinced Alex to be more upright.
Yeah, you don't want to go from down to up as a hitter. You want to go up to down. That's better.
Zimmerman strikes out his first, and there are 2 down in the 3rd.
Fastball up in the zone. That's exactly what it was designed for. Looks good to the hitter, swing and miss.
So Alex is still at first with 2 down after a leadoff single. And Witt chops it off of his foot. He flied out to center field in the 1st inning. You know, Witt last night doubled. It was his 32nd double of the year. He just not only continues to have an impressive season for him, but he continues to put up impressive numbers for Royals in history. Tigers may take another look at that. I think Navarro thought he got Alex Gordon. And they will challenge. Why not? What does Brad Ausmus have to lose?
Yeah. What, his job? Too late.
And I don't know if Alex is going to get a drink of water or if he knows that he was out, because Alex just walked into the dugout and took his helmet off. And this would be the final out of the inning. And now the Tigers have seen the replay up on Crown Vision, and they, at least the infielders, begin to leave the field. It was the first base umpire, Greg Gibson, who called safe. And when the Tigers were batting in the second inning, he called Andrew Romine safe, the Royals challenge, and that call was overturned.
Zimmerman, he's got quick feet. Alex knew that. Just before he threw over, Alex was trying to get that extra step.
Yeah, I wonder, as the umpire is reviewing this in New York, when you see the base runner in the dugout with his helmet off,
Is he telling you something?
is that part of the process here? I mean, that would tell me that Alex is not going to storm the field and start throwing Gatorade in protest.
Yeah.
Alex is safe. Just like he thought. He knew it the whole time.
That expression tells it all right there.
So the Tigers lose their challenge. And it's 0-1 on Witt.
Well, see, it goes to show you, you can't say, well, I thought he got me, or it looked like. Nah. Hard to tell.
Now it's 0-2 on Witt. So anyway, Witt hit his 32nd double last night. So he has 32 doubles, 33 stolen bases. And in Royals history, he is just the fourth who has had 32 or more doubles and 32 or more stolen bases. Johnny Damon did that twice. Carlos Beltran and Amos Otis also had one season with numbers like that. And now Witt hits a base hit into center field. Alex will stop at second. Two on with two out.
Whitley kept his hands in nicely on this inside fastball. Directed it right back up the middle. Just like his first swing of the evening against Zimmerman, he hit a deep fly ball to center field. So staying in the middle of the field is what two-hit Witt is thinking about, although he just has one so far.
And now the Milkmen with Mel Key at the plate. He lined out to left field in his first at bat. That is into right center field. It's going to be cut off by Castellanos. Gordon scores. Here comes Merrifield. Kinsler's throw late. And even if he was out, the Tigers just lost their challenge. So Melky Cabrera with the Milkmen about 10 rows back from home plate makes it a one-run game.
That's right. An inside fastball off the end of the bat. He didn't barrel it, or else it would have split the gap and went to the wall. You could tell it might even have broke the bat, but Whitley's off to the races. Good job by Jerschley. Third base coach pinwheeling him home. He knew.
And that was a single. Melky Cabrera is at first base, driving in Gordon from second. Merrifield from first, which brings us to Eric Hosmer, who had a pretty significant single driving in a runner from first base back in the 2015 ALCS.
I think it was extremely significant. That might be on his highlight reel.
Slice to left, and Presley is there to end the inning. So that non-call at first base, where even Alex Gordon thought he was picked off, ends up being big, and the Royals end up with 2 runs. Showstopper, we go to the other side of the state, and this is Addison Russell against Michael Wacha, and that is a 3-run home run. So the Cardinals had led 1-0. It is now 5-1 Cubs in the bottom of the 8th inning. If the Cubs win, they clinch the Central. Milwaukee is losing 6-0 at home against Cincinnati, so even if the Cardinals come back, if the Brewers lose, the Cubs win the Central. Brewers, remember, they had a big lead going into the All-Star break. They were one of the surprise teams in the National League.
A lot of people concerned about the Cubs at that particular time.
World Series hangover.
Yeah, heard a lot of that. Starting rotation was gassed. Some of the players, you know, Schwarber got sent out. Their power hitting left fielder sent to the minors.
Brewers had a 5.5 game lead at the All-Star break, and they lost 89 games last year, so very few picked them to do anything in the Central. One and two on Romine. Brewers still have a shot in the wild card. They're a game and a half back of Colorado for that second spot. Romine was safe, then he was out first time up, and now Moss backhands. He'll circle around to the bag. Romine hit a ground ball to Alcides Escobar and was ruled safe. The Royals challenged, and the call was overturned, and with that ground ball, he is 0 for 2. The most popular way to follow Major League Baseball's postseason push is with MLB.com at bat. You can customize with home screen icons and app features, keeping you close to the action. You'll get live scores, up to the moment news, stats, and much more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Iglesias fly to right in the second inning. Grounded sharply up the middle. Escobar cuts it off, sets his feet, 2 down. Jason Hamill, when he took the mound tonight, set a new career high with 30-second starts. And now, by going 3 2/3 innings tonight, he has a career high 178 innings. His previous career high in starts was with the Cubs 2 years ago. His previous career high in innings was with the Rockies 7 years ago.
Good spot. Look at Hamill saying, "Hey, well, hey, where was that?" He wants that on Kinsler. That's just right where you want to execute on him. That's a good pitch. Look at Hamill. Down. Home plate umpire DJ Rayburn motion down.
But that one's a strike.
Looks similar, didn't it? Hamill, he knows he's back in this game.
2-2. He went around, so the Royals get him 2 to get him back into the game, and Hamill responds with a 1-2-3 top of the 4th. Is brought to you by Jeep. Hurry in for great deals during the Jeep Celebration event. It only happens once a year. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Eric Hosmer, the dash, the triple in the wild card game, the home run in the 9th against Houston.
All special.
It would be interesting to ask him which one stands out of the 3. The dash, of course, coming down the line in the 9th inning of Game 5 of the World Series to tie the game. The Salvador Perez base hit to win the wild card is the play we'll always remember, but How about Hosmer's triple to help set up the inning? And then the 3-run home run in the 9th inning of Game 4 against the Astros in the division series, turning a 1-run game into a 4-run game. And then Dave Holtzman reminds us of his extra inning home run in Game 2 of the division series in Anaheim.
It's just a whole lineup of great things. Tremendous highlights of his short career here so far.
That is the third baseman, Candelario. Talk about an overshift. It's the third baseman in shallow right, so that goes down 5-3, 2 down.
Yeah.
Here's our sprint trivia question. Name the 4 players with more at-bats than Alcides Escobar since he joined the Royals in 2011. Eric Hosmer. Oh, not with the Royals, in all of Major League Baseball.
All right.
So, wow, only 4 players in all of Major League Baseball have more at bats than Alcides Escobar since he joined the Royals in 2011.
Okay. Is there any on the field here today? Kinsler.
Ian Kinsler. Out to Iglesias. And that's the inning. 4 in the books. The Tigers lead 3-2. Three-2 Tigers. They had a 3-0 lead until the Royals scored 2 on that Melky Cabrera base hit. Last night was a comeback win for the Royals, although they are only down 1-0 and it was early. Presley pulls it foul, and Omar Vizquel, who has a den full of Gold Gloves and 11, and he was the best at barehanding ground balls of anyone I've ever seen, and he still has it.
I agree, and you're right. What in the world did he do with 11 Gold Gloves?
The most impressive bare hand play I ever saw him make, it was more about the situation than it was the difficulty. But Chris Bosio was throwing a no-hitter for the Seattle Mariners. You know, people forget Omar came up with Seattle. And for the last out of the no-hitter, on a play where he very easily could have gloved it and threw to first, he made a bare hand play and threw to first base. I mean, now if that ball goes off of his hand, I mean, can you charge a guy for an error if he tries to make a bare hand play? But that's how confident he was in using his bare hand. It was fun to watch.
Sure was.
And ended up being a pretty good hitter at the end of his career.
Sure did. Stay around long enough, you figure it out.
Presley is out. All right, we came up with a couple more answers during our commercial break. 4 players in the major leagues, only 4, have more at-bats than Alcides Escobar when he joined the Royals in 2011. HUD correctly guessed Ian Kinsler. During the break, you guessed
Elvis Andrus,
which
the
is correct.
Shortstop for the Texas Rangers.
And I guessed not HUD, which is a surprise because he almost always goes to Robinson Cano at some point in a trivia question.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's correct. One more.
I got a hint. He's an outfielder. And in between innings, we were not cheating either. He's an outfielder. I don't know what league, but American.
Brett Gardner. No. Adam Jones.
Ding, 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 ding. There you go. I told you to bring this home. You did. Wow, it's a lot of
That's
at-bats.
impressive.
No doubt. Where'd he go, Esky? He's even applauding himself. You see that? He knew we were talking about it.
Castellanos is 1 for 2 with a run scored. One of the great thrills, postseason thrills, and we were showing you a sign that a fan had going over some of Eric Hosmer's memorable plays in the postseason. How about Escobar's leadoff inside the park home run in Game 1 of the World Series in 2015? I mean, there have been some thrills in this ballpark, but maybe only the wild card win was louder here than after Escobar swung at Matt Harvey's first pitch and circled the bases.
And you know, they showed that again. Joel did on this Price Chopper Royals Live pregame show, and sitting up here all by myself, I wept. I got excited again. It was beautiful. Look at that.
That was the 14 ALCS. He was the MVP in the 15 NLCS. And there it is. A stand-up inside the park home
Look
run.
at his teammates. Look at Haas. He's going, I can't believe that. They're all were like unbelievable. And you know, they had listened to my friend, former teammate Harold Reynolds was on the call, and they showed it right before Esky swung. He says, you know, Harold says, you know he's going to be swinging at that first pitch. And he did. I'll never forget it.
That game ended up going 14 innings.
Then Alex's biggest home run ever. Demoralized the Mets, because I remember that Familia, their closer, had not given up a run since June. And when Alex hit that homer, he went back in the dugout. I was watching it outside, me and Joel in the parking lot, waiting for the post game. And all of his teammates saw him walking down the tunnel. They were all looking at him coming down in the dugout like they were in shock. His teammates were.
Like he was actually human.
Yeah, and so you could tell right there. The Royals put a dent in their psyche.
Slider for a strike to Candelario. He has driven in 2 of the Tigers' 3 runs.
But I'll never forget, after the wild card, the crowd that came out, and we were on the set right there on the corner, right on this corner out here, and just got flooded. The fans didn't go, and the traffic couldn't get out.
Paulo makes a play in center field. You mean this one?
Oh, look at this. Look at the people in the background. Look at them. They're going, did he?
Bottom of the 5th inning. Tigers will be here again tomorrow. Then the Diamondbacks on Friday, and that's always a fun night. Futures night. The Royals minor league pitchers and players of the year will participate in an autograph session inside Gate A, and then will be honored with an on-field presentation. Royals.com, an area price chopper location, or 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Alex did not go around, so says Laz Diaz at third base. Alex single to center and was picked off to end the inning. At least he thought so. The Tigers thought so. And then after a challenge, he was called safe. So the inning continued. Whit Merrifield singled and Melky Cabrera drove in 2. But that inning looked like it was over. He was actually called safe by Greg Gibson, but the Tigers thought otherwise. Alex had gone into the dugout and taken his helmet off. He thought he was out. Two balls and 2 strikes. Three and 2.
Alex has been a lot more selective. He's been eyeballing those borderline pitches.
Zimmerman gets him with a slider.
Well, that one was a little bit out of the zone, but too close. See how he's on the side of that baseball. That pressure is on his middle finger when he releases that ball, and he snaps it. Gets that spin.
Paulo flied to the wall in center field in the third inning. This ballpark, certainly Detroit's ballpark, and maybe one or two others, are the only ones that can hold that long fly ball to center field. But it's 410 to center field here. Temperatures in the 60s, and at the time there was a breeze blowing in. So Paulo just hits a line drive to right field, as he did so many times last season. And he's on with one out.
There's a Paulo fan right there. Fastball outside part of the plate. Beautiful swing. Two hands on that bat. Watch him. Look at that. Good head position right here. Heads down, straight through the ball. Very nice.
One on, one out for Drew Butera. Strike one. Zimmerman got him with a fastball in the third inning. After the 2015 season, the Tigers signed Jordan Zimmerman to a contract of over $100 million. And what was specifically significant about that one was he became the first pitcher in history to get a $100 million contract after having Tommy John surgery. Butera's down on strikes, and now they're two away. And he had really good 4 straight seasons leading up to that. At least 32 starts, at least 12 wins. He had gone over 200 innings several times, and still it raised some eyebrows, but right away it looked like a good deal. His first 7 starts with the Tigers, 5-2, a 1.5 ERA. Then he started having some problems with injuries, and in his 40 starts since, his ERA has been 6.6, and they have him signed for 3 more years.
Ooh. Well, you know, he might be going through that stage that Justin Verlander went through, where he started having some issues. Nothing major, of course, but slowed down some. His velocity dropped, and then he learned how to pitch a little more. And then all of a sudden, Verlander gained confidence back and was dominant once again. But Zimmerman might be going through the same stage, having some neck issues and some problems in his back. And you know, when you get paid in baseball and you're a free agent, you get paid on what you did, the numbers that you put up. Now they're hopeful that you continue to do that, but sometimes it doesn't work out.
That's out of play. Zimmerman did it the hard way too. He did not come out of a program like they say South Carolina, where Whit Merrifield played. Zimmerman was drafted by the Nationals out of the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point, Division III. Wow. Grew up in a small town in Wisconsin, Auburndale, with a population under 800. Mike Jerschley can relate to that. Growing up in small town Wisconsin. I wonder if Mike Jerschley's hometown, like Jordan Zimmerman's, had an annual, and this was at the high school, Bring Your Tractor Day.
Come on.
So not, bring your daughter to work day, or bring your son to work day, or, bring your pet to work day. High schoolers had Bring Your Tractor Day.
Come on. Really?
True story. I'll have to ask Jersh that. Jersh, born, raised, and still lives in Clintonville, Wisconsin. Up the middle, cut off by Iglesias, and the force at second base. That takes care of Paulo Orlando. The Royals are scoreless in the fifth. Lead the Royals 3-2 to the sixth inning. And here is a game break. We go to Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And with Wade Davis pitching, that fly ball to center field means the Chicago Cubs clinch the National League Central. They are in the postseason for a third straight year. Wade Davis wearing number 71. That's the reverse of his number here when he was number 17. So the Cubs, who had a slow first half, all things considered, coming off a World Series championship, they have the best record in the National League since the All-Star break. Line to left, and Alex Gordon makes the play. James McCann is out on one pitch. One down in the sixth inning. On Saturday, it's the Royals and the Diamondbacks, and you can get your hands on the last memorable moments bobblehead of the season. The first 20,000 fans receive a George Brett bobblehead presented by Konica Minolta, commemorating the 25th anniversary of his 3,000th hit. Royals.com, an area price chopper location, or 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. He did that at Anaheim Stadium, now Angel Stadium. George is a Southern California native. but was able to do it somewhat close to his hometown. El Segundo is where George grew up, which is not all that close.
Tim Fortuno was the pitcher, I believe.
And it was a wicked ground ball that almost decapitated. Was it
Oberkfell?
Ken Oberkfell. Good memory.
Thank you. I am.
Were you on that team?
No,
you were in Japan that year.
Yeah, no, I'm a George Brett fan though.
George has been asked 1,000 times at least about getting his 3,000 hit. And before he describes the thrill of getting 3,000 hits and doing it in Southern California, he usually brings up that about 2 pitches after that he got picked off of first base.
That's right. Well, Fortuno had a good move.
Yeah. I think that was George's way of saying you get caught up in the moment. And how do you not get caught up in the moment?
Exactly. More hits than any third baseman in the world.
Two and 2 on Navarro. The Tigers got 1 in the first against Hamill. They got 2 more in the third for a 3-0 lead. But going back to the end of the third inning, Hamill has retired 9 in a row. 3 and 2. The Royals scored 2 in the bottom of the third inning. So that snaps the string. Hamill walks his second. Drew Butera looked like he was trying to get Navarro to think that that pitch was going to be in. After he gave Hamill the sign, he hit the ground with his glove right behind Navarro, hoping that Navarro would be looking for something inside and then set up outside. But the pitch missed away.
Trying a little bit of trickery.
Machado is struck out and grounded out to third. Navarro runs and it's grounded out to Moustakas. 2 outs and a runner at second base. Hamill has thrown 92 pitches. And Peter Moylan is warming up, and now the phone rings out there again. So Doug Henry is going to chat with Dave Eiland and figure out who else the Royals want to loosen up with 2 down in the 6th inning.
Or give him an idea about maybe if he loses this hitter, he might get the next one. You know, before they had the phone, they didn't have the luxury of that. They had to have signs that they had to let pitching coach know, the bullpen coach, who was up. And so they had, they would use their hand signs for if the guy was a little portly, they might make a round circle. If the guy was tall, they would go to the top ceiling like this. If he was skinny, they would do both hands up the middle. There was different ways of getting the certain pitcher they wanted up. They all had their own little sign language for who it was. Or you see it when the phones go out.
Was that before or after the discovery of fire?
Come on, no, that's how it was. But I mean, I saw some of that when I was young. It was interesting.
Something they did in the minor leagues, right? When you had an old ballpark that didn't have any phones. Those boys have gone through some sunflower seeds tonight.
I'll say.
1-2 on Romine. And Hamill strikes him out. So that may be his last inning of the night. And if it is, even though he leaves with the Royals trailing, he has a quality start.
In the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Melky Cabrera got a fastball down the middle and he drilled it. Now, it didn't get there, but it got the Milkmen off their feet in the stands. The plate, oh, Merrifield scored all the way from first base on Melky's single. Yeah, that's right. He's firing up the fans that are here, but especially the 4 Milkmen that are up there rooting for him in their white milk outfits, their Milkman suits. Stay hot.
It is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Ramona Hermreck from Richmond, Kansas. Not to be confused with Richmond, Missouri, which is not far from here. Richmond, Kansas is south of Ottawa, in between Ottawa and Garnett. 59 highway south of I-35. So if the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Ramona wins $700. If they hit a grand slam, $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Rounded out to Kinsler. Melky is 1 for 3. All right, there's the sign. Thank you, Haas, for the dash. The triple in the wild card game. That set up the bottom of the 12th inning. And the 3-run blast in the division series in game 4, which really opened up that last game in Houston. Sent both teams back to Kansas City.
Quieted the crowd.
Sure did. And that place was loud. The roof was closed, so I mean, it was loud already, and there was no place for the sound to go other than bounce off the roof. And then all of a sudden, I mean, it was like a library in there.
That'll hurt them. Now they'll get another chance.
One of the great in-your-face moments of that game. Remember the Rangers, what they had Had they already won the division series?
Oh,
remember the governor?
No, that's what I was, yeah.
Oh yeah, the governor had figured that the Astros were going to win it because they were up by 4 going into the 8th inning. So sent out congratulations to the Astros, and then he said, how about the Rangers for an all Texas ALCS? And neither Texas team made it to the ALCS.
Yeah, he took a little heat for that. Learned something.
Romine's first step was back, but he's able to close in on that one. 2 down. So Jordan Zimmermann continues to pitch well against the Royals. He allowed 2 runs in the 3rd inning. He has never allowed more than 2 runs in a start against the Royals. And now he gets Mike Moustakas with 2 down in the 6th. To center field. Romine is back. He's got it. So it drove him to the warning track. 3 up, 3 down, and now at the end of 6, the Royals are still down by 1. Royals baseball is brought to you by Thoroughbred Ford. Every day there's a great deal waiting for you at Thoroughbred Ford. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Hey, look at that young man right there. That's Drew Roberts. Happy birthday, Drew. Way to go. You want to splash? You better get down lower than that. Sally can't make it up that high, but way to go, young man. We're glad you're here.
Chevy called to the bullpen. Peter Moylan will pitch the 7th. I think Drew is hoping that a Royal gets a Salvi splash.
Oh, I thought he was.
I don't know if at 59 degrees and dropping, if he wants a Salvi splash.
No,
maybe he does.
Right. I misread the sign, but I was checking him out and I looked up, saw the sign, and saw the Salvi splash. Just figured he wanted one, but
well, maybe he does.
Who doesn't? I'd like to have one too. Of course, not in a night like tonight, though.
0-2 on Iglesias.
Maybe Joel Berg will get one tonight.
Joelberg.
Goldie. He's got a lot of nicknames. Our producer calls him that. I kind of picked that up from him.
Two and two on Iglesias. Jason Hamill finishes the season with a quality start. Gave up 3 runs in 6 innings. He struck out 6. 3 and 2.
Sinker slider. He's outstanding. I'll tell you what. The question was asked Ned Yost before the game. What kind of teammate was Moylan? And Ned Yost just said, outstanding. He's the best. He got a great sense of humor. He's been around. He knows baseball. He knows players. His accent helps. The coffee drink that he made this year helps a lot. Sleggiato. Character. Gotta have guys like him. Well, it helps the long season. But now he's got skills on the mound, though. Look at that. That's a two-seam sinker that a young shortstop fouled off his foot. Look at the movement. That's excellent right here. Look at that two-seamer. Look at the ball move in at the last minute like that. That's a shoe ball. Ouch. Now he's going to mix the slider away. Watch Drew work on the opposite part of the plate here. Didn't quite get it where he wanted to, but Moylan, 38 years old. He's completing his 8th year in the big leagues. He's got more in the tank too, believe that.
And he goes up to get it and throws out Iglesias.
And you know, he was hoping that Iglesias or somebody would do that so he could show off, because today he was taking ground balls at second base and at shortstop, and every day he's at first base taking balls from the infielders that throw over there. He's an athlete, so this is no problem for him. That's routine. Look at him throwing off balance, throwing on the run. He's got extreme skills, but I tell you, his value, not only is he coming in for an inning or so to get a double play ball or roll him up, is at the clubhouse.
Kinsler scored the Tigers' first run in the first. Otherwise, he is 0 for 2. This is Moylan's 77th appearance, and he's tied with Brian Shaw of the Indians for the most appearances in the major leagues. Tonight, he gets a clean inning, coming on with nobody on base. 2 balls and 1 strike. But he has inherited 63 runners this year. That is the most in the major leagues, and it's not even close. Doesn't seem like that long ago that we would go on and on about a guy making 60 appearances in a year. And now here's Moylan at 77. He has had as many as 87 in a season. He did that with the Braves in 09.
Oh, good spot. Yeah, Kinsler had to eyeball that. He's saying, really? That is exactly where Moylan wanted to put that baby. Yeah, he prefers to come in with runners on. He told me that, you know, he goes, yeah, I like it. That's my job. Puts a little more pressure on me because I want to take care of my partners or the starting pitcher or whoever I relieve. Those are their runners. So it puts more pressure on me to get the job done. Tells you a little bit about he's a team player. He wants to help his teammates. Good spot. again, he just pitched a tough right-handed hitter just like he wanted to. Painted the corner, and then he got the little two-seamer down under his bat.
Oi. Oi. Presley takes a strike. If the Royals rally in the bottom of the 7th inning and take the lead and win, that would be Moylan's first decision. How about pitching in 76 appearances this year and no decisions? This is his 77th.
Highly unusual.
Yeah, no record, no wins, no losses.
That's weird. Man, but baseball is like that. You never know.
One ball, 2 strikes. The major league record, by the way, for appearances is 106. Wow. Mike Marshall for the Dodgers. The Dodgers had a Mike Marshall who was a pitcher, and then later a Mike Marshall who was a hitter. Mike Marshall had 106 appearances in 74, and his record was 15-12. Wow. All out of the bullpen.
That's incredible.
15-12 as a reliever. Kent DeColvey has a 94 appearance game. He's a very similar pitching style to Moylan. Solomon Torres in 06 with the Pirates had 94. And in 2010, our buddy Pedro Feliciano had 92 for the Mets. You remember Pedro Feliciano?
Petey.
Take it, take it, take it.
Yeah.
Yep. And now Presley is on. And that'll bring up Nicholas Castellanos. This Hispanic Heritage Month, MLB and the Royals are celebrating the many ways Latinos put an accent on baseball. Share how you put an accent on the game with hashtag Ponle Acento. Castellanos with a runner at first, 2 down. He singled and scored in the 3rd inning. And it is only a 1-run game right now because of a play that Paulo Orlando made on Nicholas Castellanos back in the 1st. Tigers scored 1 run in the 1st inning, but without a great play. And sometimes we use that word too often, but it was truly a great play by Paulo Orlando. The Tigers not only would have scored a run in that inning, but they would have had runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. But because of the play, the Tigers scored just the 1 run. Two and 0. Mr. I get a text message every now and then when we're playing the Tigers. What does Mr. I mean on the right sleeve of the Tigers uniforms? That is for Mike Ilitch, the longtime Tigers owner and Detroit Red Wings owner, the founder of Little Caesars Pizza. He passed away during the offseason. Royals, of course, have been wearing their own patch on their jerseys. So there it is, Mr. I. That was his nickname. Nobody called him, well, most people didn't call him Mr. Ilitch. It was Mr. I.
Great owner from what I understand. Did a lot of great things for people.
Not a very good pitch on 3-0.
Now
it's 3-1.
Moreland said thank you. So now he's having a hard time commanding his pitches. Striking out 2 batters in the inning.
Pulled foul. Cleveland has just defeated Minnesota 4-2. So Minnesota still has not clinched that second wild card spot. They'll keep an eye on the Angels at the White Sox. If the Angels lose, they still earn that wild card spot. It is 3-3 Angels and White Sox in the 6th in Chicago.
See if he can make a pitch here.
Presley's running, and it's fouled away. Mentioned Castellanos has 25 home runs this year. That's a career high. He also has 10 triples. He leads the American League with 10 triples. He has spent most of the season at third base and has recently made the move to right. But it is very rare for a third baseman or a right fielder for that matter to be leading the league in that category. Although George Brett in 1979 he had 20 triples.
Wow.
The Castellanos becomes the first Tigers third baseman with 10 triples since Ozzie Vitt had 12 in 1916. Ozzie Vitt.
Don't remember that.
You don't?
No.
What's wrong with you?
I know. Oh.
And now Moylan has walked 2 with 2 outs. And here comes Ned Yost with Candelario coming up.
Pete's going to need a little help in this inning here. And he's not happy about it.
There's plenty of help out there. Ned Yost has a small village out in the left field bullpen. And it'll be Scott Alexander and a Chevy call to the bullpen. Got a ground ball back to the mound and then a strikeout. And then a walk to Presley, another walk to Castellanos, and it's Scott Alexander. And he'll face Jamer Candelario, switch hitter, who will bat right-handed. .54 ERA for Scott Alexander in 56 appearances.
First batter efficiency 70%. Get him out. Help out Pete Moreland, who's helped out many this season. And he too throws a sinker slider, except from the left side. And mainly 90% sinkers. Won't throw many sliders to righties, although he has that pitch.
Candelario's driven in 2. That was batting left-handed. Drove in a run with a single in the first and a single in the third, both against Hamill. It's down by his feet. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. That ERA for Alexander 2.54. That is the best among major league rookies. It's also the 4th lowest by a Royals rookie. Greg Holland in 2011 had a 1.80 ERA. That's the best. 2 and 2.
Sinker down. It's a one-seamer. If you look close enough on our slow motion camera, you could see a one seam. That's what he calls it. Him and Kevin McCarthy throw the same pitch, except comes out of different arms. There it is. Yeah. It's tough.
Inning over. Royals are down by 1. It's stretch time at Kauffman Stadium with Moss, Escobar, and Gordon coming up. Our T-Mobile deeper coverage of baseball. It is official. A new ownership group led by Derek Jeter has been unanimously approved to purchase the Miami Marlins. Jose Altuve not only has 4 straight 200-hit seasons, he is the first player in Major League history with more than 20 home run, 30 stolen base, and 200-hit seasons. And Matt Cain will retire from the Giants after this season. Very promising start to his career, and then had a lot of injuries the last few years. The San Francisco Giants, who beat the Royals in the World Series 3 years ago, they have the worst record in the major leagues. Daniel Stumpf will pitch the bottom of the 7th inning.
So Derek Jeter will take ownership of a team before he's inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame as a player. Wow. It's moving pretty quick.
Brandon Moss is 0 for 2. That ball hangs up there for Castellanos, who makes the play. Moss is 0 for 3. If you can't catch a game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals.
I was reading that that's Altuve's 4th straight 200 season game. Yeah, that's crazy.
Not bad for what, 5'6", 5'7"?
Yeah, no, of course all those other numbers that were on there. Man. Oh, that's amazing. He can run. Bunts, gets infield hits, hits homers. Is he the MVP?
I would think he'd be the front runner at this point. If you also factor in that his team is going to win the division. Jose Ramirez, I think, is going to get some consideration.
Aaron Judge has to be right up there too.
Yeah. Altuve leads the league in batting average. He leads the league in multi-hit games. He is 3rd in runs scored. He has the most hits. He is in the top 10 in doubles. He has the 3rd most stolen bases. He has the 3rd best on base percentage. Escobar hits it to the gap in left center field. And will he dig for 3? Yes, he will. Iglesias relay. Escobar is in there, and the tying run is at 3rd base with 1 out.
Fifth triple for Escobar. He's playing with his hair on fire. And it helped that that ball was placed perfectly, but it was hit high. So it gave him a chance to go. There he goes. He can tell there's nobody going to get it. And he makes up his mind. The play's right in front of him. I'm going for 3. Look at Jerry saying, get down. And a nice slide. Beat it easily. 5th triple. Go ahead, Esky. Alex has been having some good ABs. Let's see what he can do here against the lefty Stump, who has a fastball slider.
Alex singled to center, scored a run in the 3rd inning, and then struck out in the 5th. One hop, and Navarro goes to the bag for the 2nd out. And now Paulo Orlando is announced into the game, and Brad Ausmus pops out of the 3rd base dugout. And it'll be Drew Verhagen. Last night Brad Ausmus went to Verhagen first, then Stump. Tonight it's Stump first, and now Verhagen. base with 2 down. The Red Cross depends on financial donations to be able to provide disaster relief immediately. So help people affected by the recent natural disasters by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Drew Verhagen, he pitched last night. He pitched the 7th. Faced only 3 after getting a ground ball and a runner caught stealing following a walk.
Oh, watch out.
And he almost nailed Paulo Orlando.
Yeah, that's in case Paulo was sitting first ball fastball.
Paulo tonight is flied to the wall in center field, and he is singled to right.
Fastball, curve, change up. Well, look at that. Now they thought that was a strike. Paulo looking up that middle. He likes to hit the ball. Last year, that's where he hit most of his pitches, and were right up the middle. That's a hanger. Ooh. See, Paulo could tie it up with a base hit up the middle. That's where he got all of his hits, most of them last season.
Oh, drilled deep left field. Paulo Orlando gives the Royals the lead. There's your 7th inning stretch. His first of the year.
Tattered and battered. Watch this. This is a ball right over the middle of the plate. Another breaking ball, 3 in a row. He threw to Paulo. Paulo says, you know what? If you don't think I can hit that ball in the middle, you got something else coming. Because that ball was not walking. Woohoo! Over the Royals bullpen. And that gives him the lead. Forget about the lousy single. Yeah, good for Paulo. Great to see him. He's worked hard. He's had some tough luck this year, breaking a bone in his leg. And now look at him, he's holding court. Aye, there you go.
First home run in the big leagues in over a year. It was September 19th of last year. Well, he threw him 3 straight breaking balls, so you had a pretty good idea what that pitch was going to do.
Sure did. He's got a good fastball. There's 94. And he messed around, hung it. Now he hung one that didn't get called a strike, and I know Paulo was thinking to himself, man, I should have swung at that. And he went right back in there.
Now Butera's down on strikes, and that ends the inning. The Royals had a runner at third with 1 out and didn't get him home. But with 2 outs and a runner at third, Paulo Orlando hits a home run and the Royals lead. provided our ram drive of the game to put the Royals in front for the first time tonight.
Oh, that was nice. I like how he stuck his tongue out at all of his buddies in the Royals dugout as he was on his way to first base. Good for him. He brought so much light last year to this ball club. Light and life.
He also saved a run tonight on defense. Both starters had a quality start. Neither will end up being involved in the final decision in their final starts of the year. And the Royals are already third in the major leagues in comeback wins, trying to make it 45. Scott Alexander got the last out of the 7th inning. He will stay in for the 8th. He is now the pitcher of record. It'll be McCann, Navarro, and Machado.
So Paulo in the first inning made a beautiful running, sliding catch out in right center field. And then he brings the crowd to life with that 2-run bomb. Oh, that was beautiful.
Tigers had a 3-0 lead at the end of 2.5 innings. Royals scored 2 in the 3rd. Melky Cabrera drove in 2 runs, and now 2 in the 7th. Broken bat. Look out, Scott. 1 down in the 8th. Every time the Royals turn a double play, the next day McDouble sandwiches are only $1 at participating McDonald's in the greater KC, St. Joe, and Lawrence locations. No double plays tonight so far. The Royals had 5 last night. And now it's Efren Navarro. So Hamill went 6. Moylan got 2 outs in the 7th. Alexander came on and got the 3rd. Alexander with that long wingspan brings it down, 2 away.
Well, when you're a sinker ball pitcher, you're only going to help your own cause if you're a good fielder, because a lot of balls are going to be topped. And we saw Pete Moylan make an outstanding pick on the backside of the mound, falling off, and now Alexander helping himself there with a little reaction play.
Machado takes ball 1. He has grounded out to Moustakas twice, and he is struck out. Through the right side.
There's a batter looking away.
And now Romine, and he grounds it to deep short. Escobar jump, throw, little bit offline.
Romine was saying, "Not that time, Esky. You're not gonna get me." There you go. That's what he's saying right now. Yeah, you're not gonna get me on that one. Got him earlier. Took a replay, but they got him. Look at that beautiful athleticism. Almost. If that's online, he would have gotten him. If he doesn't pull Moss off the base.
Dave Island goes out to have a quick chat, and as he does, Kelvin Herrera Loosens up in the Royals bullpen. Herrera went back to his old role. Last night he pitched the 7th. And the Royals ended up winning a 1-run game. So with 2 down, the Tigers get 2 base runners. The same thing happened last inning. They got a couple of walks with 2 outs, and then Alexander came on and struck out Candelario. And now Iglesias sharply hit to Escobar to second for the force on Romine.
Oh, man. Raise your hand if you want to watch Escobar make another Gold Glove play. Believe it. Escobar's all over the field tonight. Go ahead, Esky.
He had a 2-run home run with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. He also saved a run on defense in the 1st. So if he were a hockey player, his plus minus looks pretty good tonight.
Believe it. Now, I think he saved more than one. Oh, man. Whitley's all over the baseball. I mean, potentially, you know, I mean, he saved the one on the catch, but like you said, it would have been 2nd and 3rd and no outs. They could have had a big inning there. And Whitley's been all over the baseball. He's hit the ball hard 3 times, has 1 knock to show for it. Sure would like to see him hit 20 homers, but you know, every player this time of the year, especially if you're out of it, you start turning to your numbers and saying, all right, let's round them up. Let's see we're going to round them up to the biggest number. See what we can get. I mean, he's got 77 ribbies coming in. I'd like to get it 80. It's doable. He'd like to. He's 2 homers shy of 20. Round them up. Round them off.
Back to the middle. Kinsler backhands, didn't get the grip right away, and that's an infield base hit. But it sure doesn't take much to take the rhythm out of a play, and Kinsler didn't quite find the seams right away.
No, and it took a hop up right here. It took a little bit of hop up, and I think that kind of disrupted him a little bit, but that's the 23rd infield hit for Whitley. He can do it all.
And now switch hitters and left-hand batters coming up. So Chad Bell, a lefty, jogs in from the Tiger bullpen. Nobody out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Final game of this series, Royals' final American League Series, concludes tomorrow night. Danny Duffy will be going for his 10th win. Daniel Norris will pitch for Detroit. And then the Royals finish the regular season in interleague play with the Arizona Diamondbacks here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And right now, Zach Greinke is scheduled to pitch Friday night for Arizona. Chad Bell with Merrifield at first, and an ERA just under 7 comes on to face Melky Cabrera.
Bell is not overpower you. He's going to just try to finesse you. 87, 92, 93. Change up, slider. I mean, 93 is not exactly a finesse lefty. That's a pretty good fastball.
One and one on Melky. He drove in 2 with a single in the 3rd inning. And the second run was Whit Merrifield. He scored from first on a single. And now Whit's at first with nobody out in the 8th. Two balls and 1 strike. The Milkmen were bouncing up and down when Melky hit a 2-run single in the 3rd. Looks like they have some chocolate milk. That's into right field. Castellanos cuts it off. Merrifield goes to 3rd. Melky hustles into 2nd. May have been hit by that throw. May have knocked his helmet off. So this time he goes hustling into 2nd base with a double.
Yeah, now Mike Jersley, the 3rd base coach, is talking to Whitley now, saying, you know, we could have sent you there. As a throw from Castellanos went into 2nd base, and Whitley was flying to 3rd. Look at Melky, he sees it, and there's the Milkmen. They see it right in front of them. They are fired up tonight.
Now Raul Mondesi will run for Melky Cabrera. Brad Ausmus is back out to the mound. There's nobody warming up, or I should say there is someone just beginning to warm up. So no pitching change. This is just the former catcher, Ausmus, and manager talking over situation here with an open base and runners at 2nd and 3rd. Brad Ausmus won 3 Gold Gloves as a big leaguer. So excellent speed on the bases. Merrifield at 3rd. Mondesi at 2nd. Shane Green is the right-hander loosening up in the bullpen. So that's what the discussion was about, to put Hosmer on and hope for a ground ball and a double play with Mike Moustakas coming up. The infield is all the way in on the left side. They are in halfway on the right side. Moustakas has walked. He has flied to center, and he's flied to left.
By the way, Moose is hitting 270 off of left-handed pitching. 9 homers. So just because there's a lefty, and don't think he can't.
No chance for Presley. He was shaded over toward left center field, and it's back into the crowd anyway. Done a pretty good job of balancing his books this year. No one side a lot better than the other.
No. I've said it a few times this year. He's having a nice all-around hitting season.
He was a career .234 hitter against lefties before this year. Fastball is outside, 1-2. A little better than the league average, getting a runner in from third with less than 2 outs. Checked his swing, and it's 2-2. Fastball at 94 from Bell.
I said Bell was a finesse lefty. That's not finesse.
That gets through McCann. It is 5-3 Royals. Merrifield scores, and now second and third and nobody out. A wild pitch. Charge to Chad Bell.
Slider, and McCann couldn't just stay down on it. Came up expecting the ball to bounce up. Didn't leave his glove down like he wanted to. But sometimes, you know, that bounce is tricky. You don't ever know. He'd like to have went to his knees a little bit better.
Foul outside of first base. Nice play by the ball boy. Ricochet off the tarp.
Short hop pick. Look at him.
Some bad spin coming off that tarp.
He's got hands. Watch his fielding position. Look at him, down to up. There you go. Just like Haas picks him. Not exactly, but close.
Just nicked it foul. The Royals were down 3-0 at the end of 2.5 innings. They scored 2 in the third, 2 more in the 7th on a home run from Paulo Orlando, and now a wild pitch in the 8th. Second and third, nobody out. Still 3-2.
Boots is hitting a lot better. You can see his hands are coming through. His front side's feeling better as well, and he's a front side hitter. That means he uses the leverage on his leg and then keeps his hands back. As a little rock back, brings his hands right through. That was a good swing in that last one. See if he can guide it somewhere. Ooh.
He will walk, and that'll load the bases again. So Brandon Moss with the bases loaded. He is 0 for 3. Kinsler fields. He'll come to the plate, and the throw is offline. So McCann had to apply a tag. It was a force play, but he had to take his foot off the plate, and he gets Mondesi for the first out.
Nice play by Kinsler. Moss, 2-hopper right to him, picks it a little bit off balance. Mondesi didn't have any idea the throw was going to come up the third base line like that, but couldn't get in there.
It'll be Shane Green. 2 on, or rather bases loaded, 1 out. Royals have scored 1 in the 8th inning.
Is presented by the authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. Hey, my partner Ryan Lefebvre's doing a heck of a job tonight, and the whole year, matter of fact 6 years with me, Uncle. How about Joel Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery? Hey, outstanding. You folks want to tune in for some action? Just stay tuned after this ball game, because Joel Goldberg and Monty will have some action for you on the post-game show.
Ball 1 from Shane Green to Alcides Escobar.
Shane Green, a nice little sinking fastball, kind of a little crossfire delivery, 90-95 with the velocity on that slider change.
Almost another wild pitch. The run in this inning was a wild pitch.
McCann's quick on this one. Look at that little two-seamer. Saved a run. Would that count as a defensive run saved for McCann? Hard to tell.
Line to right field. Castellanos was shallow, and it's over his head. Hosmer scores. Moustakas scores. Moss goes to third, and he didn't see that the ball rolled away from the infield, but the Royals will settle for 2. There's only 1 out. It is 7-3 Royals in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Escobar continuing to rake, taking advantage of a shallow playing Castellanos in right field. Hits it over his head. Look at that. Looks like he's off balance, but he drove that ball. Staying on it. Heck, that one hopped the wall. 2 hopped. Nicely done, Esky. Stay hot.
He's pointing at Moss, saying, "Come on, man." I almost got another RBI.
And he almost caught him on the bases.
Alex Gordon is intentionally walked without a pitch, setting up Green and Paulo Orlando.
Yeah, you know, and Paulo, he was still down in the tunnel getting his bat.
Paulo turned a 1-run deficit into a 1-run lead with a 2-out 2-run home run in the 7th inning. And now he comes up with the Royals leading by 4 and the bases loaded. Slider for strike 1. It's our Honda play of the game.
Oh. You didn't hear the crowd, man. Look at that. Oh man, we missed him sticking out his tongue, but he got it all. Fired up his teammates, gave him a lead, and it was his first of the year.
He came close to hitting a home run in the 3rd inning. He hit a ball that would be out of many ballparks when he flied to the wall in center in the 3rd. And he singled to right in the 5th, and the 2-run home run in the 7th. Back to the middle. Iglesias runs to second, turns around and throws to first. The Royals get 3. 1-run scores on a wild pitch. Escobar doubles in 2 more, and it's 7-3 KC.
As they will try to wrap it up, and after the game, well, Hunt already told you, we got Boulevard Royals Live coming up. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery, and because we love alliteration, we'll talk about Paulo's power and Esky's extra effort. Hear from Ned Yost and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. And Ryan, I know you'll appreciate this one. If you really want some good alliteration and analysis, I just heard Denny talking about that's some bad bullpenning.
Hey, bullpenning.
Nice.
Well, I've heard him say it 100 times, and he's right. If you do not have a good bullpen today, you will not win. That's one area you just can't cover. Bonifacio takes over in right.
You know, that 12 days off that Denny had, it fired him up. Fizz was telling me today that I said, how was working with Denny last night? He goes, Denny was electrifying last night. The way to go. He said that you know, he got fired up.
Kinsler is 0 for 3. He walked and scored in the 1st inning. That's the 2nd time that Drew Butera has not cleanly received a pitch from Mauer, so they're not on the same page with signs.
Well, Mauer has 3 pitches. Fastball, slider, change, all of them above average. That fastball's upper 90s. Slider is nice and crisp, has a downward action. Changeup's a good one as well at about 88.
Three and one. Full count. Kinsler, Presley, and Castellanos grounded to Moustakas, and really that looked like a routine play. It wasn't. He got caught in between hops and made a nice play.
Sure did. Anything at Moose, you're out. He's fundamentally sound. I like how he gets himself going towards first base. He's got good footwork when his legs working.
Ball one on Presley. Just out of curiosity, what? I'm just wondering, how many players have you known to have good footwork when their legs are not working?
Well, I think our audience knows what I was talking about, because Moose's right leg,
you think so?
has been bothering him since he got drilled by that Tigers pitcher. I'm not even going to say his name. And it messed him up. And we saw him having a hard time getting his feet in order at a couple of times. He made a couple of throwing errors because his feet weren't underneath him correctly, because his leg bothered him. So when his leg's right, he's right. But he played through it. I admire him. He told me that he's never had to play through an injury like that before, but it's another learning lesson for a veteran player like him.
Mm-hmm. So there you have it, kids. Your learning lesson of the night. If your legs are working, your footwork can help you. Base hit right field. And now the Tigers are one base runner away from this being a save situation, and Mike Minor's been warming up all inning. Well, in all seriousness, we've had this discussion quite a bit in the past couple weeks or so, that many times we talk about a good fielder, boy, he's got good hands, he has soft hands, or man, does he have a strong arm. Well, it's the footwork that sets everything up. A shot to left field, and it sails over Alex's head. Presley to third. He'll hold. Castellanos has a double. And now second and third with one out. And Ned Yost comes out. And it's a save situation for Mike Minor. Jeimer Candelario's coming up. Thing early. They scored 5 runs in the last 2 innings. And now it's a save situation with the tying run on deck. And Mike Minor, this is about as much breathing room as he has had in a save opportunity. Saved the game last night, his 3rd save. All have been 1-run games. He inherits 2nd and 3rd, 1 out.
He's been looking good. Situations like this. Fastball, slider, changeup. 3 excellent pitches.
Candelario drove in a run in the 1st, and he drove in a run in the 3rd. High and deep into the left field corner. Hooking. Foul. My first year with the Royals, among 100 things I learned from Denny Matthews, is at the left field corner here was referred to as the Bermuda Triangle. That balls would just have a way of straightening out in that corner. They would, for all the world, look like a ball that was just going to hook, hook, hook. And for whatever reason, on that left field corner, the ball just straightens out. But not that time for Candelario. Just continued to hook and went foul.
I think it had the distance.
Now, with the remodeling of this ballpark, and specifically Rivals Sports Bar, it's changed the wind current somewhat inside the stadium, also with the Hall of Fame in the left field corner. 3 balls and 1 strike, but typically anything high and deep into the left field corner you cannot give up on. So before that building in right, you know, the wind would come in much lower than it does now. Now it hits the back of that, shoots straight up, and comes back down toward the surface in the right field corner.
Just had a little shot of the flags. Wind's blowing down tonight.
Straight down.
That's right. See if Minor can get him. He's got 3 weapons. I told you, 95 in on the right-hander's hands. Slider change. Changes an effective pitch too on the outer half. Let's see what he comes with. Coming in.
Out to Moustakas. A run will score. More importantly, out number 2. So it's 7-4, and the tying run remains on deck.
Okay, let's check it out. I saw Drew after the pitch adjusting his mask and everything, and sure enough, on the backswing, it got him. Watch the backswing. Ooh, man. Wow. Not good. But still, he was ready for a play at the plate.
Remember, you look at the old black and white pictures, and the catchers would just have their cap turned around. They didn't have a helmet.
Right.
Oh, 0-1 on James McCann. His double in the 3rd inning gave the Tigers a 3-0 lead. They would not score again until this inning, and meanwhile the Royals would score 7. One ball, 1 strike. 21,319 here tonight, most of whom are standing and chanting "Let's go Royals." The Royals now can hope to finish at or above 500. Royals need to win 4 of the last 5 games, including tonight, to finish at 500. They need to win all 5 That would allow them to finish 2 games above 500. And if they do that, at or above 500, that would be 5 consecutive years at or above 500. That would be the second longest stretch in Royals history. The 1975 to 1980 Royals had 6 straight winning seasons. Popped up into shallow left. Alex Gordon is there, and the Royals have won the series. Both in come from behind fashion. Last night they were just down 1-0 early. Tonight they were down 3-0. Paulo Orlando had a big hit. 2-out, 2-run home run in the 7th inning. That put the Royals in front 4-3. The Royals would go on to score 3 more in the 8th. And our final score tonight, the Royals 7 and the Tigers 4.
Way to go, Paulo. Man, he's had a tough season. For tonight, him to be the hero, that's pretty special. Melky threw in some nice hits out there. Way to go, Melk. Had your milkman up there rooting for you. You were looking good. Total team effort tonight. Stay hot, fellas. Keep the skipper happy.
So now the Royals have to win their last 4 to finish above 500. They are 11-7 against the Tigers this year. And now the Tigers have lost a season high 9 in a row, and they have lost 96 this season. And Salvi's getting ready.
Paulo's in trouble. Paulo, watch out.
And even before the interview begins, and Paulo says, bring it on.
Yeah.
Paulo saw it coming. He had his back to Salvi, but he was facing Crown Vision. So he saw it coming. Right, Joel?
Welcome back, Salvi, or welcome back, Paulo. And he just said to me, Salvi's coming, isn't he? He also said, I miss you guys. And I think everybody missed you too. So officially, welcome back, Paulo Orlando. I know it's been a rough year, but here you are performing in front of these fans. And before I ask you about the big home run, I have to ask about what was one of the most exciting catches all year. Take us through that one early in the game, and it made a big difference.
Yeah, it's a great game for me tonight. For everybody, you know, like it's finished strong. That's one thing you think about now. So I just try to be focused and doing my job.
Well, tell us about that catch. How'd you do it?
Oh yeah, I got a great jump. You know, got a great jump. Last year, actually, I got actually the same play. You know, same play in Detroit. But I feel good now. I feel healthy. So try to finish it strong.
And then the home run, I think you got all of that one. You nearly hit the Hall of Fame building in left field. Tell us about that swing. I think we saw the tongue come out towards the dugout, and what it means to be able to help your team win.
Oh yeah, I got a pretty good swing tonight. You know, the first one, the center field is too far for me, but in that one left field, I got a pretty good swing on. So I'm just glad to be here. You know, be back. Thanks God for the wish He got me, my family, all support, the fans, you know, here in Kansas City. So I very appreciate for that.
And that's my last question. A lot of guys would say, man, it's pretty cold for a Salvi splash, but when you've dealt with a broken leg and being in the minors and you're back, how good does it feel?
Oh yeah, waiting for the winter, you know. I'm supposed to stay for a couple months here and then enjoy my family back in Brazil. So I'm be ready for the cold.
He lives part-time in Brazil, part-time in Kansas City, and the hero tonight. Paulo, so glad you're back.
All right, guys, thank you very much.
There he is, Paulo Orlando. He's not shivering, by the way, guys, one bit at all.
Yeah, I'll bet. Well, Hud, tonight he was Paulo go-ahead homero.
Yeah, he was. Look at that.
Don't try that at home.
Please.